Hi, I'm Heidi from Daltons. Today we're going to be talking about rose pruning, and I've got a bit of a rose expert with me today. This is Paul McKeaney, and he's from the Waikato Rose Society. Thanks for coming along.
You're welcome.
Why do we really need to prune our roses every season?
To regenerate the bush.
Yeah.
To get it regrowing. If we didn't, the rose blooms will get smaller and smaller and smaller.
Right.
So what we're trying to do is to form a cup type feature, aeration inside the rose.
So that means the airflow going through the plant?
Yes, the airflow goes through the plant.
Does the airflow also help with combating diseases?
It does.
Yeah.
Those horrible diseases like rust.
Yes. Black
spot.
So when is the best time to be pruning roses?
You normally prune twice a year if you wanted to. The main time is in the winter when the plant is dormant. The other time is maybe in February when you want a summer prune, but that's just a slight haircut.
It's a little tidy up. I think probably one of the fundamental things is a good set of gloves.
Leather gloves.
Leather gloves.
The thorns will go straight through the rubber gloves or that, yes.
Yeah, and I guess there are other coverings that you can do.
Yes, there are. You can get ones with gauntlets and all that sort of stuff, yes.
Okay, cool.
There are three types of tools we use, mainly the hand secateurs. One, they've got to be very sharp. Two, they've got to be clean.
Yes.
And we normally do the cleaning, say, between roses with a bit of methylated spirits.
So why do we need to clean in between the roses? Is that for disease?
Because we do not want to spread the disease from one rose to the other. We then have the big secateurs, if you like, or the loppers.
Yes.
Now these are for taking canes that are a wee bit too hard to take with your secateurs.
Yep.
As you can see, they'll open a fair bit.
Yep.
And finally, if you can't break it or cut them with the loppers, you use a pull saw.
Right.
And these are designed to saw small branches.
Garden hygiene is really important, so we want to remove any leaf debris around the bottom of the plant. That just makes sure that we don't have any overwintering pests or diseases.
Now, when we prune, if that's my mark there, I will be taking an outside node. A node is where it's not a bud, it's just starting to come through. See the red?
Right, so that's
there?
a node. Okay.
I normally take about the diameter of that plant, if you wanted to, and cut it at an angle of 45, about there.
So tell me, why do we cut at 45 degrees?
And that lets the water just come off. Now, what I'm cutting off is I'm trying to get all the dead, dying and diseased off also. And there's a lot here, you just play with those and pick it up later.
Does it matter if you're snipping away new growth? Nothing to panic about there?
No, I'll give a little swear sometimes, but I've done it by mistake. Now you'll see one here, for example, it's got three.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Well, in some cases, one of these is going to die because it's not feeding enough to feed the whole three of them.
Enough energy, right.
So I'll take that middle one off.
Yep.
If they're crossing over, we can take them off.
Okay. And why do we do that?
Well, they'll start rubbing on each other, and where they rub, you'll get a disease in there. Now this is a bit of old wood, so it could come off, but there's not much.
So why do you want to remove the old wood?
Well, old wood
Yep.
should only last for about 3 or 4 years.
Oh.
And then it dies off, and that's why you get new ones coming.
Yep.
I'm not happy with that there. See how it's a bit, so let's take that off completely, and it's got a bit of dieback on it. Dieback is where you've cut too close to the node or at the wrong angle.
Yep.
And it slowly dies back down.
Right.
So that's where the dieback was going down through there. You can see it there brown, and then I've cut it back below that to where it's clean. So we now just have to clean it up.
So that's just getting rid of all those little bits and pieces?
Yep, all the little horrible little bits. I then bring out my wire brush. I'm using an old scoury wire brush. Clean all this up.
So that's the crown of the
That's the crown of the rose.
Right.
And what it does, it takes off all that horrible muck in there that harbours insects and rot.
After pruning, when do we spray?
About a week to 2 weeks afterwards, you can give them their first dose of copper, and then about 2 weeks after that again, 2. So once you put your first 2 coppers on, the rose is as good as gold.
I'll do some of the hard lifting this time. You've done all the hard work of the pruning.
No. A bit more.
Great, so that's got to keep the moisture in,
That dead right.
suppress the weeds.
Yes.
and add some nutrients to the soil as it breaks down.
And now we wait until when they start sprouting before our fertiliser goes on.
Thanks so much, Paul. It's looking really good.
It sure does.
Don't be afraid to give your roses a prune. Practice makes perfect.
And with good secateurs, it helps.
Until next time, happy gardening.